just met her this weekend. And when I met her, everything was all good. She was all cool hearted. I'm gonna turn the scoop on her, let her know the camera's up on her.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, the
I'm
camera's on
grateful to be here. I'm so excited. Let's make some noise
I know
for
that's right.
DJ
Margaret
Rico!
P. Bean is in the building. What's up with you, Miss Lady? How you doing?
I'm excited to be here. I'm grateful that we had the opportunity to meet this weekend, and I'm really excited about the way that the show is kicking off, that we get to pray for Mike and his wife and how she's going through surgery. So I asked everyone that I know that would share their love with her through prayer today, and that the surgery would be successful and that Mike would have peace during this time. And so I just love the way that God sets things up for us.
Yeah, and it's a good thing because we get to come into a different air of how how our day is gonna go about, knowing that we didn't set up and put a good blessing on somebody.
Yep.
So it's cool.
It's
So,
awesome.
well, how you doing? First of all,
I'm tired, I'm exhausted, but it's an all good thing. It's all good. It's all good. It's been amazing since the book has been released. God has moved really fast. I went to contract with Lightning Fast Publishing. I told him I would give them a shout out to my boy
Very
Matthew
nice.
Horn.
Very
I
nice.
met him on a Monday, signed my contract. My book cover was ready on a Wednesday. The book had final edits on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I approved the final book that Monday, and the next Wednesday I actually had the book in my hand.
Wow.
And so it was a quick, fast move, and I'm so excited about it. I actually wrote the book back in 2007,
Okay.
and it's sat on the shelf forever. And in the book, I talk about procrastination. Please don't allow procrastination to steal any more time from you, and do all the things that you have to do, rather it be writing, rather it be singing, rather it be speaking like we're doing right here, encouraging somebody, just a smile or a hug. Don't allow time to steal any more of your gifts that you have to use to edify and inspire and encourage someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: What encouraged you to write this book?
I used to ride the train. I used to work downtown for 12 years, and every day I would just write whatever came to mind. And so this is the second book that I have. I actually did my first book in 2004, which was geared more for women because my heart is for women. And so this one is more generic, and I have two more in the works. The next one will go to print probably in the next 2 weeks. And that one, Madison St. Clair, short stories, poems, and silent moments. And I know Margaret the mother, I know Margaret the grandmother, but life has happened in the last 3 years, and so I've been discovering me, and so thus you have Madison, and my dad was St. Clair, and so I have some really great poems in there. I have some really good silent moments. My mother had dealt with breast cancer. I had a friend who really just turned his life upside down from crack. Two family members have passed away from HIV, so it's going to be more of dealing with those stories and giving you some resources on how to deal and cope with those things. And so I'm really excited about discovering me, the new me. And so a part of me comes the writing and the flowing of poems and silent stories and moments, and just really embracing the new me.
So it's basically you just kind of like covering up your own private chronicles.
Okay.
It's you put your own thoughts.
Oh yeah, there's nothing being
right?
hidden here. In this book right here, my parents, they were pastors, so I'm a PK, and I also am a pastor as well. I was ordained in 2007. I ran a church from 2007 to 2012. The ministry actually closed down, and so for the last 3 years, I had threw the towel back into God, like I don't want to do this anymore. And so this book is actually bringing me back closer to God, because sometimes we slip and we fall. And yes, pastors do slip and fall because people put us up on this pedestal that's so high that sometimes we don't even know how high we are until we actually let people down. And so I hope that in my falling this last 3 years, I've been doing me. I haven't been in church like I'm supposed to be. I've just been doing me. And so in doing me, I haven't been doing too much, because as a PK, it was only so much that I would do anyway. But it's a good place that I'm in right now, and I'm glad that God forgiveness embraces me back.
In case y'all don't know what a PK is, it's a pastor's kid. so I know some of y'all like, okay, what's a PK? Pastor's kid. Let me put you up onto it. You gotta understand the acronyms of a whole lot of things.
Guys.
No. They some probably like, oh, PK. Yes, it's a
Yes,
pastor's
as a
kid.
pastor's kid, and give us a break. You know, we're human. We want to do things like everybody else sometimes, and we slip, fall, and we miss it. But don't put us in your glass bowl and have this expectations that, oh, you are the PK pastor's kid, and have these unrealistic expectations that we're not gonna miss it sometimes.
Right,
Still,
right.
you know.
Okay, so now let me ask you about the title. Raising the standard in your walk with the Lord.
Okay.
Give everybody a little bit of something of it.
It has to do with your standards about everything. It has to deal with your relationships, your life, and not only your walk with the Lord. I mean, we all don't have the same religion beliefs, but we do have a belief in God, higher power, something to that effect. And we can get mediocrity with it. We can kind of be here, or we can be too zealous, and we can turn people off with it. But you have a standard about yourself, and so as a person, even just let's just deal with this part, raising the standard in your walk. Just as a human being, like today, you stopped and took time to pray for somebody else. You stepped out of yourself and you gave something that didn't cost you anything,
Right.
to give to somebody else. And so in the book, it talks about going the extra mile and being a friend to someone. It talks about raising the standard and the things that you know that you have to do, and so stop being lazy about it. I'm quite sure I'm not the only one that's written a book that's sitting on the shelf that needs to be published so that someone else can read it and be blessed by it. And it may not be the same title. It may be a poem. It may be a short story. It may be something that inspires them to do more in life as a whole. So it's more than just your relationship with God. But I always say, if you get this relationship here right, you'll get this relationship here right, and then you can take it here. You know, we're talking about Black Lives Matter everywhere, but really your soul matters. I mean, if someone gets killed, do you really know if they're going to heaven because someone didn't have the opportunity to minister to them?
Right.
So it's a lot more to it than that. Your standard about how you conduct yourself as a person, that you would disregard someone else's life to take it away from them. So raise your standard to think like, if I'm angry about something, just walk away. You know, so it's more to it than just your relationship with God. But you get this right, you get that right, and then you take it here.
Wow. Okay, now let me ask you this.
Yes.
Being a PK,
Yeah.
coming up, growing up
Mm-hmm.
into being, should I say, now, did you go to public school or private school?
I went to public schools. I am a native New Yorker. I went to Franklin Street Elementary School.
Oh, you went to rough.
Hempstead Middle School.
Okay.
And then I went to Hempstead High School. Where my Tigers at?
Oh, you was in the hood.
He said I was in the hood. Tigers, come on now.
That's it. That's what some of the Brainiacs is at. That's the Brainiac side of the hood.
Well, I wasn't a brainiac. I actually dropped out of high school at the age of 16.
Right.
And so I give God all glory because I graduated from Strayer University with my associate's degree and my bachelor's degree.
Nice.
So I'm an honors graduate, and I am excited about that because what I thought was a downfall turned around to work out for my good. So we dropped out of high school. I was a teenage mother, single mother, been there, done that, and here I am today. I made it through all of that, and as my mother would say, this too shall pass. So don't let anyone look down on you that because you didn't finish high school like everybody else did, that your end product is not going to be good. Your end product is going to be successful, it's going to be dynamic, it's going to be amazing.
Cool. Now, okay, how was it? How did people make you feel different in any type of way, man? So they knew that you were a pastor's kid, and they try to say, oh, we can't do this around her.
No.
You know how sometimes they do
I
that.
had my own convictions. I would hang out with like some people who did things. I won't mention their names, but they would steal things, and I would wait outside. So it was only so right. It was only so far that I was going to go because I had my own standard even then that
Right.
I'm not going to do this. I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to see what was going on, but I never actually participated in a whole lot of it. Pretty much I was sheltered, but I tried to do what everybody else did to a certain extent.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in coming up, being from New York,
Mm-hmm.
how different was your lifestyle in New York City versus being here in DC?
Well, I have to include my daughter Danielle. We went
Hey,
to New
Danny.
York. Danielle's in the house. I have to say that one day me and Danielle rode back to New York. She was about 5 or 6 years old, and we were coming back from New York. And she says to me, "Mom, do you think that your life would have been what did she say? Would it have been the same pretty much if I stayed in New York or if I lived here?" And I was gonna like have a pile up on the New Jersey highway because I was just looking at her like she's 5 or 6 years old and she could see the difference that it made for me to be here. She never even lived in New York, and so it was amazing to me at 5 years old. She realized that it was a better move for me to be here than it was for me to live in New York. And I'm glad that I raised my kids here versus there. The only thing I miss about it, and I say it all the time, is I grew up with my cousins, and I wish my daughters could have grown up with their cousins that lived in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back. I tell you what. I want you to give me two of your favorite throwback songs from the 80s.
Two favorite songs.
Two favorite songs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look something up. I really am. I mean, I was a Luther fan. I really loved I'll Be Sure. Cameo, we already heard my favorite song from them.
Okay.
Right. So let me look up something.
Well, you said I'll Be Sure. So let's see. Let me see. Let's go ahead with some I'll Be Sure.
Yeah.
How about let's do this one. I think we can find some I'll Be Sure. Let me see. Let me see. I think I got some I'll Be Sure. Oh yeah, I got some I'll Be Sure for you. I got an I'll Be Sure joint that I know.
Right,
that, of course, a lot of the ears can go ahead and love.
Oh yes.
We coming back.